The music that would make Gershwin and Ravel natural bedfellows on this CSO program led by André de Ridder. A symphonic picture from Porgy and Bess gathers key themes from George Gershwin's landmark folk opera of 1935. A lifelong New Yorker and son of Russian Jewish immigrants, Gershwin was perhaps an unlikely figure to adapt DuBose Hayward's novel Porgy about the black residents of Catfish Row in Charleston, South Carolina. But the composer visited the area and studied the local Gullah culture and its distinct dialect. Working with brother Ira Gershwin, he crafted songs and choruses inspired by jazz, folk, and gospel styles. The plot involves a disabled beggar named Porgy and his efforts to rescue the beautiful Bess from the clutches of her drug dealer and a violent boyfriend. Though it has sparked debate over its use of racial stereotypes, the opera is also appreciated for its moving portraits of adversity and tenderness. Robert Russell Bennett created this suite in 1942. The relentlessly confident Rhapsody in Blue was introduced in 1924 at New York's Aeolian Hall. It was part of an experimental concert of symphonic jazz by Paul Whiteman and his big band. Gershwin himself was the pianist and improvised much of the solo part. The Rhapsody was an immediate hit, and its success led to arrangements for a full symphony and a leaner theater orchestra, both by Ferdy Grofé. The CSO presents the original version with pianist Inan Barnatan. Maurice Ravel and Gershwin admired one another's work, and when the French composer visited New York in 1928, the two men spent a couple of nights together prowling the city's jazz clubs. 3 years later, Ravel completed the Piano Concerto in G major. Though its chief influences were Mozart and Saint-Saëns, there's a jazz element in this bright musical cocktail. Again, Inan Barnatan is the soloist. Finally, Ravel's Boléro was commissioned by the famed Russian dancer Ida Rubinstein for her own ballet company in 1928. The scenario involves a Spanish tavern where a crowd of men are driven to a frenzy by a woman dancing on a tabletop. The piece, with its steady repetition of two 16-bar phrases, took on a life of its own as a concert piece. But Ravel was embarrassed by its mass appeal and once said sarcastically, "I have written only one masterpiece. Unfortunately, there's no music in it." Audiences clearly feel otherwise.